Alright, what's up, guys? If I don't sound too happy right now, it's because I tried live streaming twice today, and for some reason, Xfinity was like, you know what, we're going to have it where you can watch YouTube videos, but you just can't live stream. We're going to have it where you could go on literally any website imaginable. Just can't go on Twitch and live stream. Dumbest thing ever. But I figured, you know what? Let me just relax myself, react to some videos. Yeah, so WrestleMania, they've uploaded a video titled 10 WWE wrestlers. I feel like I said W1 too many times. 10 WWE. Okay, there we go. Wrestlers who were scarily unresponsive during a match. Yeah, I feel like that would be scary, both for the person that they're wrestling and for the wrestlers, like when you're just not responding. But anyways, yeah, let's see if I can at least do videos. If I can't live stream, if I can't do videos either, I swear I'm about to go up to Xfinity and just fix whatever I need to fix myself. But anyways, that's crazy.
I love it.
It's like you have to be a fan of snakes to do a stunt like that.
A wrestler getting knocked out cold during a match is unfortunately more common than you would think. But because of the nature of professional wrestling, one wrong move or one bad landing can result in a wrestler being completely unresponsive during a match.
It's like she's not.
Shelly is
Bruh.
out. She is out. And she landed on the best of her.
Yo, that's not
Over
safe.
the years, this has been handled in a number of ways. Traditionally, if a wrestler were injured or knocked
I
out,
remember this. He hit his head on the table. I've seen this a few times and now know what happens.
the match would continue the moment they attain
And
consciousness.
he was saying, like, Kurt Angle was saying how Stephanie McMahon was kind of like guiding him and stuff, or both Stephanie McMahon and Triple H was kind of helping him with that match.
However, in the modern era and WWE's focus on concussion-related injuries, if someone is knocked down during a match, 90% of the time, their involvement in a match will come to a sudden end, purely
That's
for
crazy.
their safety. With that being said,
She's
join
all
us
like,
now as
yo.
WrestleMania looks at 10
She's all
WWE
like,
wrestlers who were
we don't do this here in WWE. This ain't AEW. What's going on here?
unresponsive during a match. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists.
I think Regal is dazed.
He's out.
I think he's dazed too.
You can see it in his face that he
Number
was
1,
out.
Liv Morgan, Raw on September 24th, 2018.
Oh my gosh! It's Daniel Bryan's wife, Brie Bella.
Brie Bella made the decision in 2018 to come out of retirement. She'd been retired since WrestleMania 32, and the decision to come back to the ring was mainly linked to her wanting to be involved in the Evolution pay-per-view in some capacity. Unfortunately, Brie's return to the ring was met with negative reviews from fans, as she was
crazy.
suffering from a little ring rust. She was reckless and clumsy, and in one of her first matches back, she seriously injured Liv Morgan in a tag team match. As in a match on the September 24th, 2018 edition of Monday Night
Yeah, it was
Raw,
like, I remember when they very first came into the scenes, the Bella Twins, because I was watching wrestling at that point. I thought it was cool. I thought even they'd run. I mean, it's like, I feel like wrestlers, they'll do that. They'll have like a run. Maybe it should have been a pay-per-view thing or something. I don't know. Kind of just had like a little bit more practicing, but I don't know.
Brie teamed with sister Nikki to face the Riot Squad. Something seemed off with Brie during the match, as she would bodge seemingly every other move and even flub up a dive to the outside.
Out earlier to Brie while you're out walking the red carpet this weekend.
Yeah,
We're on the road causing.
she's out.
In the middle of the match, Brie would hit Liv Morgan with the yes kicks, and she made full-blown contact
Dang.
with 2 of the kicks.
Oh, yeah, you could
completely
tell
knocking
she
out
was
Morgan
out.
in the process. Brie quickly realized what had occurred and made things worse by dragging the unresponsive Morgan to the corner. Morgan managed to come around later in the match and took part in a suplex spot.
That's good. Shout out to Liv Morgan.
Triple suplex.
However, the doctor at ringside decided to pull her from the match so she could be taken care of and prevent further injury. Number 2, Shane McMahon at the 2016 Survivor Series. Survivor Series 2016 saw the reintroduction of the popular Raw vs SmackDown matches.
Maybe if I
That
see
year's
it, then I'll
pay-per-view was
remember.
beloved by fans as it featured one of the best 5v5 matches in WWE history, as one of the more notable spots in the match involved Shane McMahon going for a coast-to-coast to Roman Reigns.
Movies made famous, guys. Shane going across the
Oh yeah, he is out. It's like you can see it, his face.
Reigns would counter the move mid-air and connect with a devastating spear. Unfortunately, Shane hit the mat extremely hard, which resulted in him being eliminated as he was simply unable to continue in any capacity as he was officially knocked out. Shane would be held backstage by WWE officials, and luckily he would be absolutely fine and would not miss any television time.
Yeah.
After last Sunday's 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, I personally feel like I've been in a car accident.
The moment was made even more notable from the fact that Shane's son was at ringside during the show, meaning that he saw his dad get knocked out live on pay-per-view.
Wow.
However, as we mentioned in a previous list, Randy Orton noticed Shane's son in the audience and went over to him during the match to make him aware that Shane was going to be perfectly okay.
That's cool.
You can check that video out in the top right hand corner. Number 3,
Good guy,
The Miz at
Randy.
WrestleMania 27.
So like, man might hear, I felt like them voices in his head say he was just like, hey, you know, just put all that stuff aside. Just let Shane McMahon's son know that he's fine. He's going to be cool. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, you need to, in times like that, like jokes aside, that you do need to go over to, I don't care what cameras is rolling. I'm like, I would, like, in the middle of the match, let him know, like, hey, your dad is good. Don't worry about it.
27 doesn't exactly.
Because you think that it would be like, oh, it'd be met with like backlash. Like, you think Vince McMahon is gonna really yell at the guy that was letting his grandson know that his son is okay? I don't think that something like that would happen. So
Best reputation in the world. Now, one of the reasons for this is that the main event WWE title match between Cena and The Miz did not feel like a WrestleMania main event and only served to build to next year's showdown between The Rock and Cena.
I know, I was all like, I waited a whole year for. I didn't even watch that WrestleMania too.
Well, what some
I think
fans
it was
don't
a
remember is
few
that The Miz was
WrestleManias that I
actually
missed
knocked
out on.
cold during the match, and somehow we managed to finish it. Even though
You
Miz
can see.
himself has admitted that he doesn't remember anything that occurred in the match once he was knocked out.
Dang.
Look at this 100-yard dash.
Ooh.
The moment in the match where Miz was knocked out was when he was tackled over the barricade by Cena, where his head bounced off the concrete floor, knocking him out cold in the process. During a Talk Is Jericho interview, Miz would offer...
Bruh, that was like, that's like a Back to the Future like type hitting the concrete. Dang. That was loud. Like, why is it send like a shock wave like in this part of my head right there? Like, that's,
knocked out.
man.
He would state, I have no idea where I am. All I remember is The Rock bottoming Cena and me covering Cena 1, 2, 3. Number 4,
That's
KAIRI
crazy.
SANE at TLC 2019. TLC 2019 was historic because it was main evented by Asuka and KAIRI SANE versus Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch in a TLC match for the women's tag titles. This would be the first time in
When's this video
WWE
recorded?
history that a women's tag title...
October. Wasn't it before where that KAIRI scene, she was or Sane, I don't freaking know. It's like, I feel like if I say it a different way, somebody's gonna be trying to correct me. But anyways, regardless of whatever her name is, but was there a time when Nia Jax, like, she cut her head? I don't know if she knocked her out, but she did like cut her head pretty badly. I think, yeah, that was her, because yeah, she hasn't appeared in wrestling in a since, I don't know, maybe not since then, but whatever happened. Hold on for a second. Let me see real quick. I'll see after the video.
Would be defended in the main event of a pay-per-view and would be the first time the women's tag titles would be decided in a TLC match.
But
I thought she was about to hit that ladder.
But regardless of its historic meaning, unfortunately the match didn't go to plan as KAIRI SANE was knocked out and concussed in the middle of the match, which meant that it had to be drastically altered. The match quickly turned into a handicap match, which meant that the dynamic of it was confusing as fans were now seeing two baby faces go up against one heel, something you rarely see in wrestling. Now, although the match wasn't going to plan, fans praised the efforts of Becky Lynch, who decided to roll KAIRI under the ring so she could avoid any damage in the match. The decision from Becky showed fans and WWE officials why she was in the position she was in during that time period and cemented herself as the true leader of the women's locker room. KAIRI SANE would
I
miss
can't wait for her
around
to
4
come
weeks
back.
of
I mean, I don't know, like it, like you know, yeah, she. I feel like cause I don't know. Let's just see, cause I'm like it's you when you hear sometimes like people starting a family and stuff, they don't really return. So that's I'm like, well, but I know there's a lot of those wrestlers, they have kids and things, and they're actively wrestling. So I don't know, it's gonna probably be a while, but either way, regardless, like I can't wait for her return back, because you know whether it's for a short period of time or whether she's gonna be a full-time wrestler, I think it's gonna be some true memorable stuff. So
action,
anyways.
But the knockout and concussion could have been a lot more serious if Becky did not appropriately step in. Number 5, Daniel Bryan on SmackDown in 2011. Sometimes a wrestler getting knocked out during a match can create a sense of panic. Not
Look
just
at her
between the
hand.
wrestlers in the ring, but also WWE officials who may be unsure on how to proceed. This was seen during a match between Daniel Bryan and Alberto Del Rio on SmackDown in 2011.
Yeah, I always say like Alberto Del Rio, he was like a dangerous wrestler. Like he was one of those guys that he just, I don't know, I think I did hear that at some point in time. I'm not for sure, but
dumb because he told the world when he's going to cash in his contract. There goes the surprise factor, number 1.
As during the match, Bryan was legitimately knocked out cold, and Del Rio quickly realized this and communicated to the referee that the match had to be stopped so Bryan could get medical attention. However, for some reason, the referee ordered the match to continue, meaning that Del Rio had to awkwardly stall and taunt the crowd until Bryan came around and was able to finish the match. Del Rio would discuss the incident during a shoot interview, saying, "I punched him and I think I knocked him out. He couldn't get up. Shit, he's out. I told the ref he's out. After break, let me cover him, but someone said no, continue.
Wow.
Now we can understand the confusion, but that decision was highly irresponsible.
Yeah.
Number 6, Chavo Guerrero on SmackDown in 2004. And moves from the top rope are called high risk for a reason.
For the top rope. Look out, look out.
Dang.
And that is the danger.
As anything can go wrong whilst executing a top rope move, and sometimes a move from that height can cause serious injury if it isn't
Brock
carried out
Lesnar,
safely.
you don't see him doing no stuff like that now.
On the 2004 edition of SmackDown, in a match between Billy Kidman and Chavo Guerrero, Kidman went for his trademark shooting star press.
He kind of, yeah, I can see his leg.
However, upon landing on Chavo, Kidman's knees went directly into the side of Chavo's head, knocking him out cold in the process.
You can see, look at his hand.
Kidman then had to cover a motionless Chavo to end the match.
That's
Wrestling
crazy.
Observer's Brian Alvarez offered some insight into the incident back in 2004, stating, "It was a terrifying situation as Chavo was KO'd immediately and every single muscle in his body tensed up, so when Kidman tried to hook his leg, the leg wouldn't bend. Worse, Chavo was out for several minutes, which is terrifying when you consider the knockouts that take place in MMA and the fact that most guys are on their feet 30 seconds later. A ton of referees and officials hit the ring, and Stephanie McMahon even came out to check on him. It's doubtful you'll ever see Kidman doing a shooting star press again."
Wow, that's crazy.
Number 7, Drew McIntyre.
That's like, dang, Drew McIntyre from 11. I remember when his first run in wrestling too, but yeah, that's scary to be knocked out for that long and you ain't like. I would be terrified. I honestly would be terrified.
2010's Money in the Bank. Now, the Money in the Bank ladder match is one of the most dangerous match types in WWE history.
You like his wrist? I think I remember that.
There's not a better person to confirm this statement than Drew McIntyre, who was knocked out cold during the Money in the Bank match at the 2010 installment of the pay-per-view.
No, Kofi, do not do this! Kofi, don't take that!
Dang. You can kind of see it in Michael Cole's face. Like, Michael Cole was like, oh. He's like, that ain't right. That is not right at all.
McIntyre revealed that during an interview with Vibe in Wrestling, I was lying on the table when Kofi came on the ladder and landed on me. He landed on my chest and slid through onto my head. I remember waking up wondering why thousands of people were in my bedroom, shaking the cobwebs off and eventually shouting. The referee starts calling over to me to figure out what's going on.
That's scary, but that's funny at the same time. He thinking he's in his room sleep, and then he's like, whoa, wait a second. He's like, this ain't my room. He's like, this is a stadium. Where am I?
I got my bearings and remembered I was in a Money in the Bank ladder match, but that was my first thought. Why is everyone in my bedroom? Number 8, Enzo Amore at Payback 2016.
Bro, I got my own locker room. Literally.
Now, ENZO AMORE had an interesting WWE career, and one of his more infamous moments came at the 2016 Payback pay-per-view. In a match between Enzo and Big Cass taking on the Vaudevillains, Simon Gotch threw Enzo into the ropes. However, Enzo awkwardly bounced off the middle rope and fell onto the floor at ringside.
Oh, that's okay. That's the same one. I was like, he got knocked out twice the same way.
Talk about whiplash.
He attempted to carry on the match, however the referee realized that Enzo was knocked out cold and decided to call the match off.
Look at you,
we've got a bad injury. Again,
that's crazy.
A serious situation that has developed at ringside.
Enzo was then taken to hospital where it was ruled that he had suffered a concussion and would miss around a month of television time. Number 9, Goldberg at Super Showdown 2019. In 2019, WWE decided to book the dream match between Goldberg versus The Undertaker for the Super Showdown show in Saudi Arabia. Fans had no desire to see the two wrestle in 2019 as both men were past their prime and both had clearly seen better days in the ring.
Going for it again! No. Oh, he was looking for the tombstone pile driver, I believe!
The match itself was a complete disaster and probably the worst match of both men's careers. It featured numerous botches and even featured The Undertaker being dropped on his head.
Do this to The Undertaker!
No way!
Dang.
Goldberg was even knocked out at one stage during the match when he went head
I thought he
first
was
into
knocked
the
out
ring
during the
post, meaning
tombstone.
He didn't know where he was for a portion of the match. The match was so poorly received that Goldberg even took to Twitter to apologize for the quality of the match and referenced the fact that him being knocked out dramatically impacted the quality of the main event. And number 10, Mick Foley at the 1998 King of the Ring.
Oh wow. I guess.
In the hell is he standing? Oh my God! And notice he's got a smile on his face. For God's sake!
Mankind and The Undertaker's 1998 Hell in a Cell match is arguably
See, it's like most people would be like, because me, I would think that I would be that person where I'm like, oh, okay, like, you know, I hurt myself, but I can still like wrestle and things. I can still, you know, put on somewhat of a show, or just like let them at least like, hey, just, you know, like do like one of those like whispers, like, all right, just, you know, finish the match and then let's just call it a day. And so do something. But yeah, you know, to I guess like get the crowd to like get like hyped up like one last time. But then like I feel like in reality I'll be like, oh my God, like what was that? What just happened? Like, no, that wasn't, because especially with this, like with Mick Foley falling off of that Hell in the Cell thing. Yeah, that would be scary. I'm like, I don't know.
Famous WWE match of all time.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Don't y'all wish, like, for those like that's never been to these events, like you wish you could just go back in time? Because I'm telling you, if I had a time machine, I'd definitely be going back to like a lot of different wrestling shows. I'll probably go back to like at least the WrestleManias that I watched. Probably some other WrestleManias just for the fun of it and stuff. Definitely some wrestling shows. What else? Yeah, I'll be going to a bunch of different things.
Wrestling fan is familiar with the iconic moments in the match, including Mankind getting thrown off from the top of the Hell in a Cell structure, and even one of Mankind's teeth sticking through his nose. However, what most fans forget is that Mankind was legitimately knocked out during the match and somehow carried on and finished it as planned. Mankind was knocked out when he was chokeslammed through the top of the Hell in a Cell structure, and the chair followed him down and smashed him in the face.
Dang.
Mankind was only unconscious for a few moments before somehow managing to get to his feet and carrying on with the planned spots in the match.
No way! Oh, what a sadistic thing!
It's crazy.
But there you have it, guys.
Mick Foley probably would go down in
WWE
history as the best stuntman in wrestling.
During a match.
Like, there's not, I don't know any other wrestlers that can compare to that man.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook
He's
for
did some
exclusive
stuff.
lists. And see you next time with some more wrestling content.
Yeah, Mick Foley, he's did some stuff. Based off of what I've seen from him, I'd say that he's one of those like wrestlers where it's like he's definitely gonna be well recognized and things. But anyways, yeah, that was a pretty good video. I enjoyed it. Shout out to WrestleMania. I feel better now, like, you know, just overall watching this video. I don't know why. They seeing wrestlers getting themselves knocked out made me feel better. I am such a weirdo. But anyways, make sure you guys go subscribe to WrestleMania for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.